Hey everybody, it's Danielle Damianov. I'm here with Josh Thomas. I am so excited for you to be here. You are with Anabots.ai, correct?
That's right.
Yep, and you're kind of like a serial entrepreneur though, I think, right? You have other companies and you've done a lot, but you're going to teach us today how to basically 4x or 4x your sales using AI for lead generation, lead follow-up, and stuff like that. And I'm so excited about it because people that are on my Done by One CRM are always looking for automations for that lead gen follow-up because the follow-up is where the money is, as we all know, and a lot of people don't do that. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and then also about the company, what it does, and then we'll jump right into it.
Yeah, sure thing. So I have been building sales teams and sales processes for small business for more than 16 years without AI. And it really, several of my customers have been super successful. Like we've been able to 2x their business. One guy, I 3x his business. And I actually had one guy that I 5x his business in about a 90-day window. And the way that we were able to do that is not because I was some super sales ninja or any kind of marketing voodoo or anything like that. It all really came down to the fundamentals, blocking and tackling. Are you asking for the sale? Are you following up and closing the loop? Do you have a really good, compelling offer that people actually want and they're willing to pay for? Do you understand what the pain point and problem is of your audience, and can you convince them that you have a solution? Do you know who your audience is? All this just basic stuff, right? And most of us, that's the unsexy stuff, and most of us don't like focusing on that because we want to go and do this other sexy thing. But if you can do some of the boring stuff, you'll make a bunch of money, and a bunch of money is always sexy, right? I mean,
yes, definitely.
Sort of. And so what I noticed over the last couple of years is ChatGPT comes out and the world gets turned upside down. And there was immediately this disparity of entrepreneurs, that there were the haves and the have-nots. There were the haves that were getting into AI and leveraging it and making a bunch of money and automating their processes and their sales and all these things. And then there was everybody else, which is the majority, who were like, no, I'd kind of like to learn about that, but I'm not super techie. And I don't want to be an AI guru. I just want to be a plumber, or I want to be a marketing company, or I want to be an accountant, or I want to be a real estate agent, or whatever. And so we get kind of pigeonholed into this, like a small group of people are crushing it with AI. And then there's 90% of us who are looking at them saying, that looks cool, but also no thanks. And so what I realize is somebody's got to bridge this gap. And it's probably should be me, because I'm not an AI guru. I just understand that if you're not using AI, you're going to be replaced by somebody who is using AI very quickly. And so you might as well get on the train. And so the whole point of Anabots is what we're trying to do is take everybody who wants to use AI but doesn't want to become a tech genius. Let us show you a simple way to do that makes an immediate impact on your bottom line. Give your P&L some love. And then if you can use AI to make more money, then maybe you can expand it into other parts of your business and benefit from it that way.
Got it. So Anabots AI is basically, well, first thing, one of the things I want to just kind of point out is that, like you had said, you're not techie, right? But if you understand sales and you understand the sales process, I feel like there's a lot of like techie people that will come on and try and show you, or try to, you pay them to automate your sales or whatever. But if they don't understand the sales process, it's never going to work. So that's why it's important to make sure that you have somebody, right, that understands that sales process, that then can implement the AI and know exactly at what points you're following up or whatever it's doing. So that's awesome. So with Anabots, how is it a bot, or how are you implementing AI with it?
Yeah, certainly. So just just to reiterate something that you just said there about you can go and get an AI anything. You can go and get an AI chat. You can go and get some software that will make reels for you and all these things. Like, you can go and find any shiny object right now, and probably at a great price and a great promise. But 9 times out of 10, the chances are very high whoever developed that product knows absolutely nothing about running a business. They know absolutely nothing about marketing or sales. They're just building a product. It's an engineer.
Exactly.
Would you hire a software engineer to run your sales department?
Yeah, no.
And if you wouldn't, then you should probably consider either becoming an AI expert or looking for somebody who understands sales and business and having them assist you with AI. Because really, the main thing I want to separate here is, here's the secret to really leveraging it in your business. Understand, it's just a tool. If you're already good at business, AI will make you exponentially better. If you're kind of bad at it, AI will shine a spotlight on that and make sure everybody knows how bad you are. It will not make you better. It's not your savior. It's not going to solve your problems. If you're already good at sales, AI will make an exponential impact on your sales. If you're already good at business or productivity, AI will make an exponential impact. But if you're not good at those things, you got to focus on those things.
Absolutely.
Get that right.
Yeah, and so I have a CRM that it's actually a white label version of GHL that I've built out. And, I always say, like, on the real estate and mortgage side, that's who it's for. They're using CRMs built by engineers, right? Software engineers that don't really understand the business. So when it comes to automation within the CRM, I said to myself, where am I lacking? Where am I not following up? So on the mortgage side, for example, I give somebody a pre-approval. I've already gone through all of their documents and everything. Then I'm not following up with them. So then I created the follow-up for a 5-week follow-up. So it will automatically voicemail drop, email, text message, just checking in. So if you're, trying to figure out, well, how can I use AI? Figure out what you're already good at when it comes to lead gen and your sales and your follow-up, and then figure out where you're not good and how you're losing business. And then you can figure out how AI can help you, or hire a company. But you need to know in your business what is working and what is not working, and where AI can help you improve.
And if you don't know where you need to be looking, ask.
Right.
If you already know, AI is the next step. If you don't know, ask somebody who knows.
Right.
Get the answer, and then AI is probably the next step.
Absolutely.
Or automation, however you want to put it. Like, we throw around AI because it's kind of like this trending topic, right? And technically, the term artificial intelligence has been around for more than 70 years. It was first whispered at a college, like Princeton conference in 1955.
Oh, wow.
And so imagine what artificial intelligence was in 1955, but it was a term that was used. And so now we've adopted that to mean whatever it currently means. But I want you to think about it differently. It's not artificial. I mean, it is. But we want to look at AI as augmented intelligence. If you're already good at something, become bionic, augment that intelligence that you have, and you can go exponentially faster. That's really what we're trying to do here.
So what are some of the ways that you see, and let's talk about sales, lead generation first. What are some of the ways that you see people either, like, where that lack is in how you're using it to help people with their lead gen? Because we all know that you can generate 1 million leads, but if you're not following up with them, so that will be the second question, follow up, the money's in the follow up. But let's start with sales, leads and getting more leads, lead generation.
So I'm going to be a bit contrarian here for a minute. And I'm just going to say, just for the moment, let's take the monies in the follow-up and let's set it off to the side. Okay. Let's forget about that. Everybody sucks at follow-up.
100%.
Off to the side for a minute. And we'll come back to it, all right? Okay. But that's something that we've heard over and over. Money's in the follow-up. FU money, they call it sometimes. And so I think that there's another lever you can pull in your business that's even more profitable, even more bang for your buck than having consistent follow-up. And it has to do with speed to lead. So get this. Here's some stats that are going to depress you. Okay. But I'll ask you first, Danielle. So how fast, what is the expectation when somebody reaches out to your business? What is the expectation of how fast you get back to them?
From a business owner or from the consumer?
Somebody's reaching out to your business.
Yep.
How fast are they expecting you to respond?
I mean, they're expecting to respond pretty immediately.
Immediately. In fact, if you don't get back to them within 5 minutes, statistics have shown that the chance that you do business with them drops by 80%.
Wow.
If you don't get back to them within 10 minutes, the majority of them have completely given up on you and are already seeking out your competition. Within 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you want to take a guess? And all of this is published data, by the way. Do you want to take a guess at what the average response time for businesses across all industries is?
I mean, 24 hours came to my mind, but that seems a little long.
Does seem a little long, doesn't it? Especially when we set the precedent that you got 5 minutes
right
to get most of them, and you got 5 more minutes before they're talking to your competitor. But the answer to that question is 47 hours.
Wow.
Online inquiries specifically are taking 47 hours for people to get back to the customer. Now, what does that mean? First of all, it's almost 2 days. Danielle, do you remember a website that you were on 2 days ago?
No.
No clue. Do you remember a website you were on 2 hours ago?
No.
No idea. You probably don't remember a website you were on 20 minutes ago. Well, you do because you were on a webinar, but aside from that, I couldn't tell you half the time when I go and open up my phone and I'm like, oh, I need to look up this thing. And then I open up Google and there's like, oh, cool. That's a movie I like.
Yeah. Right. Then you're like, wait, what was I doing here?
Yeah, what was I searching for? Or,
so funny.
Then I need to send so-and-so a message on Facebook. Ooh, cats. You know?
Right. Exactly. Well, it's so funny you're saying that because this is true story here. So last week I need to get my hair done desperately. So I called the salon that I went to before and I left a message and I was like, hey, it's Danielle, call me back. I'd like to book an appointment with this lady. So I'm terrible because I have voicemails and if they don't text me. So anyways, long story short, I didn't hear back from them. So I then went on Facebook, did this post, hey, anyone know any good hair salons? I got 1 million comments and I booked with somebody else and I listened to my voicemail today and they did leave me a message. But because it wasn't that instant gratification, they no longer have my business. And so it's so true. And that's the other thing that we should kind of talk about, if we're looking at AI, is how we communicate, because so many people, especially in this day and age, communicate all different ways. For example, I just called you on Facebook Messenger, right? So in sales, you have to communicate with people how they want to be communicated with. So if I text you, then typically you should text me back. If I call you, you should call me back. If you DM someone, then they should DM you back, right? So there's so many different ways to communicate that it makes it difficult also to get into people the way that they want to be communicated with.
Yep. And aside, so they want to stay in the channel that they're in, but what they want more than anything else is they want their itch scratched.
Right.
If I'm calling you about a mortgage, I want to know about my mortgage now.
Right.
Where I want to at least hear back from you now.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear back from you in 5 minutes. If you make me wait 10 minutes, I'm going to make you pay. And if you call me 2 days later, I have no idea who you are.
Exactly.
Now, there's one more layer of nuance I'm going to pile on here. Now, get back to them within 5 minutes, you're probably okay. Now, there's another statistic that says if you can respond to a customer inquiry within 1 minute, your chances of converting that business goes up by 391%, just by getting back to them inside of 1 minute. Now, that's almost impossible to do as a human.
Right.
Because somebody writes an email and they hit send, it may not show up in your inbox for like 45 seconds. And if they send you a text, you may not see that text because you're in the middle of something or you weren't looking at your phone. Or if they call you, you may not be able to answer that phone right away because you're busy doing something, or you missed it, or you set it down for a second. It's hard to do that. Like, dude, hey, customer, how do you expect me to get back to you within 1 minute? I'm only human. You're right. You are only human. And that's where you start using AI.
Right.
And if we were to boil it all down to one thing that is going to make the biggest impact on your business, it is speed to lead, which leads to what we call rapid response revenue. And that's that differential between you getting back to somebody in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour and getting back to it in 1 minute. Because the average response time for AI is 5 to 7 seconds. And if you can get back to somebody in 5 to 7 seconds, your chances of doing business with them goes up almost 4x. And with the same amount of leads, without changing your sales script, without changing your marketing strategy or your website logo or switching brokers or whatever, you can close 4 times more business. To put that in perspective, if you've got 100 leads and you close 10%, which is like kind of crappy for some people and kind of good for others, but let's say it's 10%. You're closing 10 out of 100 people that come into your sphere of influence. Just by getting back to them faster, you could close 40 of them.
Right.
Because they have a question now. They're reaching out now. I want to talk now. But you can't talk to them all now. And you're like, well, I'm only I got to get a better close rate. I need a better script. No, you don't. You just need to understand customer service, because the customer wants service now. And as long as you can get it now, you're in good shape.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, it's making you think about how much business you actually lose that you don't even know, right? Like that you don't even know. That's right. So with Anabots, you're coming in and you're using a chatbot basically to communicate. So a lead comes in. I'm sure you have this system all built out, and you're specific service-based or?
Yeah, great question. So chatbot gets kind of a bad name because most people's experiences with traditional chatbots is actually pretty negative. There's the ones where it's like, oh, a chat, and you go and you type in your question and it's like, what's your email? And then you give it the email and it's like, go wait over there. We'll get back to you whenever we feel like it. Like that doesn't make me feel good.
Right.
And then there's the other experience where it's either a live chat by somebody in a foreign country that doesn't speak English very well, or it just kind of delivers these off the wall, like, that's not the question I asked me.
Right.
And it's just like this horrible experience. And so what we do is we map it out just based on 20 years of sales experience. We map out the conversation that the AI chat's going to have, and we train it based on your business, all of the questions that your customers ask, your personality, your core values, even your style of how you communicate. Like right before this call, we're doing AI voice for some people. And one of our clients is kind of this real sarcastic kind of guy. And so we created an AI voice that had this real deep level of sarcasm and making these bizarre jokes, because that's what he wanted, And then we have a law firm that is, we need empathy and compassion and being straightforward because it's a very stressful conversation. And so we can kind of modify that. But what happens is we try not to say the C word, but AI-powered chat.
Right.
AI
No one
pilots.
knows. I mean, the only like the people that are communicating with the bot or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
they don't know. They only know once the chatbot goes off the wall, and they're like
Right.
saying
Yeah.
questions or answers to questions that make like no sense or repeating themselves or whatever. So I will say, because I actually played around with this for my husband's construction company, and I built inside of our, inside of his account in the CRM, a whole chatbot thing. And so what someone fills out a form, and then they immediately get a text message and they go back and forth to schedule an appointment. Is basically a simple thing. It did take me 6 hours, which I'm sure it would take you 1 minute. But so that's pretty simple. But these in-depth, it's a lot of work. I mean, it's definitely a lot of work, and you got to know what you're doing so that you don't look like an idiot. And then people are like, oh, I'm not even communicating with a real person. It's just a chatbot.
Yeah. Yes. Steven Tyler, lead singer for Aerosmith, was once asked about his bizarre wardrobe. So for those of you who are under 40, he was usually walking around in what looks like, your grandma's robe or something like that. And he was once asked about his wardrobe choices, and he says, hey, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. And so the same thing here for AI. It takes a lot of work for something to look simple on the surface.
Exactly.
So if you really want a good experience for your customers when they're reaching out to you, you really do kind of have to do that deep work, or just get somebody. Back to our original conversation, you don't have to become an AI expert. You just have to know what a customer experience is like.
Right.
And if you can build that, great. If you can't, you can just get somebody else say, hey, this is the experience I want. And the other thing that's important, though, is about speed to lead. Going back to your comment, people want to talk to you wherever they want to talk to you. They may go to your website and hit the chat bot. They may prefer to text you, which you can put AI chat on. They may want to communicate in DMs and social media like Facebook or Instagram. You can put AI chat in there. They may find you on Google, and on your Google My Business profile, they may send you a message there. You can put AI chat there. They may send you an email or support ticket. You can put AI chat there. Wherever they are, wherever they want to communicate with you, you can put AI, and you can respond to them with an authentic message that matches your brand in 5 to 7 seconds. You don't have to hire us to do this. There's lots of different options. That's where the technology is right now. Buyer beware. There's a lot of crap out there. But if you just changed that one thing in your business, you could potentially 4x your conversions with the same amount of leads. You don't have to spend more money on ads. You don't have to call the damn leads. You don't have to chase down old, tired leads that ghosted you, like because, oh, well, why would you opt in and then not answer the phone? Well, because you waited 10 minutes to call them.
Right, exactly. Or some people don't even call back at all.
Right.
They don't even know where their, leads are coming from. And I think what you said in the beginning is like maybe building a story brand or whatever, figuring out exactly who you're going after. And you can create different automations based on if someone sends a DM from Facebook or Instagram, a whole, series that way, and it can communicate that way. And like you just said, email, text, and all of that stuff. Is there anything else that you think, and I agree with you 100%, the speed to lead is huge, because a lot of people do not, sorry, my messages are going off, but they do not, get back to people quick enough. And I think the second part of that is the follow-up, right? Being able to do a whole entire automation just based on follow-up. Because if you talk to somebody and you put them in your CRM and then you don't do anything with them for 5, 6, 7 days, the automation can follow up for you.
Yeah, that's right. And so, yeah, we stuck it up on the shelf for a minute, right? And we can come back to it. It's just to put a nail in the coffin on this. Literally change nothing else about your business, but answer the phone faster, reply to that text faster, get that email out faster. You will make more money just doing that than almost anything else that you can change about your business. Just do that one thing. And the great thing about that, Danielle, is you don't need to hire some guru to help you figure out your messaging. You don't need to go and hire some lead generation company. You don't need to do a bunch of time like chasing down people that have already reached out to you. You don't have to do any of that hard, expensive, painful stuff. Just get there faster, or put the systems in place that allow you to get there faster. So let's talk about follow-up. There are a lot of different ways that you can incorporate. So Danielle is using her CRM, and you can incorporate AI into the CRM to personalize that follow-up and have engaged conversations with people that maybe you haven't spoken to in a while. Send them a text through AI that says, hey, I noticed that we haven't talked in a while. What's up? It doesn't even have to be you. Your AI can do that for you. And it can do that on an unlimited basis as long as you've got the bandwidth in your account. You can contact 1,000 people a day, 10,000 people a day. As long as you have permission to contact them, you can reach out to them with AI, engage them with a conversation, and set the objective for the AI to say, oh, okay, I got somebody. My goal now is to triage and qualify them, get them booked for an appointment, or send them a link to this video that I wanted them to have, or a special offer that I have, or whatever it is. You just set that objective and you let the AI have the conversation on your behalf.
Absolutely. I mean, it's another way to just basically go out and get new business without having to call every single one. And I think that's why a lot of people, they don't want to lead generate. So you can literally have the system go back through all of your old leads and have it lead generate for you, and then let you know once, somebody's ready to buy or ready to talk or whatever. Another thing, and I think, I'm very introspective, so I always think about why I do certain things. And one of the things that I notice myself doing is when people text me and I can't do whatever it is I need to do at that point, I don't text them back because I don't want to forget that they texted me. So what I'll do is I'll wait, right? But back to what you were saying, which is so true, all you got to do is text them back and then say, hey, I'm da-da-da, I'll give you a call in 30 minutes or 45 minutes, or I'm going to have my assistant call you, or, whatever, and just make sure that you get back to them immediately and then delegate.
That's right. Yeah, it's the simplest thing. It's like they don't need to talk to you. They don't need to do business with you. They just need that connection.
Right. Exactly.
And they don't actually even care who it comes from. And that's one other myth I want to dispel here, because one thing that comes up is, well, my people only want to talk to humans. They don't want to talk to a machine. They want to talk to a bot. And I'm always going to come armed with data. The statistics actually say, no, that's not true. 74% of online consumers, people who are visiting your website, 3 out of 4 would prefer to speak with a chatbot or a digital assistant if it meant they get an immediate answer to their question, because their alternative is to wait 47 hours for you to call them back.
Right.
It's like, no, dude, I'll just take the chatbot. As long as the chatbot answers my question, I don't care. Give me the answer I need. That's all that matters.
And if it's done properly, they're not even going to know it's a chatbot. Like the whole thing I set up for my husband, it was, I think her name was Sarah. Hey, it's Sarah, da-da-da-da. I'm Stefan's assistant. I mean, when you chat back and forth, it actually, now if someone sent an off-the-wall question, my AI techie skills are not great enough to make sure I have all of those responses. But, you can DIY it, do it yourself, or hire somebody like Anabot that will basically sit down and go through the entire system, for you based upon your business. And exactly, it sounds like you're almost kind of taking the business and taking them through that story brand of who their avatar is, what they're trying to do. And I think that's really important, obviously, to narrow all of that down first so that everything else is perfect.
Yep, and it's just all about that kind of congruency at the beginning. If if you have this bubbly personality, we want that represented. If you're more of a chilled out, sarcastic type, we want that represented. If you are a personal injury law firm, we understand that this is probably the most stressful conversation that your client has ever had in their life. On the other hand, if you sell smoothies, they probably just want a smoothie, and so we just got to match this tone and the style and the process to whatever it is that you're actually doing. That's why we just take a different approach. Like you can go and sign up for any service right now for a few dollars, and in 2 minutes you can get a chatbot and stick it on your website. You can do it in your platform probably.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a result. It will be moderately functional. But is it going to convert sales for you? Maybe, maybe not. That's where you want to take the extra effort. We like to have a conversation with everybody that we're going to help. We're going to do a one-on-one call. Like, tell me about your business. Tell me about your customers. What are some of the common concerns and questions that they have? We build that out, and we show it to you like, hey, this is what we built. Does this kind of match what you're looking for? What did we miss? How can we fix this to make it really feel good? And then we actually monitor and stick with you to make sure that this is increasing your conversions or hitting whatever KPI you've established. For instance, a lot of people are trying to eliminate human involvement in their front-end sales process, automating front-end sales. And let's say right now they have appointment setters that are doing 100% of the calls. Well, we can install AI chat to where maybe we want a goal of appointment setters handling 50% of the calls. And we're only at 20% right now. So let's keep tweaking this. Let's keep paying attention to what people are saying and what we can do in the chat to increase the opportunity of setting that appointment without a human involved. And so if we're with you long-term on that, then we can help you accomplish those results.
Absolutely. I love it. And you're just getting started, I'm sure, because there's so much that, with AI, I'm sure it's going to build, and build, but that's awesome. And you can really help people. I mean, it's invaluable. Like you can really help people grow their business, scale their business just by incorporating this into their business. So is there anything else we didn't touch upon that you kind of wanted to mention or?
So here's something that's, you said, hey, there's a lot of new ideas and new things coming down the pike. When does this get published?
Probably not for a week or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
very soon.
So we're cooking something up in the kitchen right now, and it should be ready by the time this is live. So here's something that I want to present to you that is going to make you think about AI chat differently. And I want to talk about the concept of a funnel. And for those of you who aren't familiar, a funnel is basically an online system to capture the attention of a potential lead, generate interest, create desire, and compel them to action. AIDA. Okay? A funnel is designed to take a bunch of people and say, hey, here's what we got. Who's interested? And some people are going to go away. Some people are going to go away, and they get funneled down. That's been around. I think the first guy to invent the sales funnel did it in like 1897 or something.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it wasn't like on the internet yet, but
there was no click funnels back then.
No. It was like horse funnels, cloth funnels, if you will. And so that's been around for over 100 years, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. But what we're seeing now is what we're calling the static funnel. Okay, we've gone through all of these iterations. There's VSLs, there's long form sales letters. There's all the chain mail from like the Nigerian prince, but it's all dying on the vine right now in 2024. And the reason for that is people catch on. People are more sophisticated and they're wise to marketer tricks. They understand that this is just a ploy to get your money. It's not a strategy session. It's a sales call. Everybody knows this by now. And so with the market sophistication, that static funnel, which is just a rigid, like, hey, I'm going to put you through the top of this and I'm going to squeeze you out through the bottom and going to take your money. That's basically the experience. And people go in and they look on a website and they're like, this looks like a funnel. I'm out of here. That sounds painful. I'd rather get a root canal. All right. Now, what do people want to do? Do they want to get squeezed, or do they want to have a conversation with a trusted friend? Because if I had an opportunity to buy something, let's say I'm buying a car, do I want to walk into a car lot and get squeezed into buying a car that I may not be ready to buy? Or do I have a friend that works at a car lot that I've known for 10 years? I'm like, hey man, what car do I need to buy? What's the best one, the best bang for your buck? What do you think? You know me. What car is good for me? 10 times out of 10, people are going to choose that situation. And so what we're developing, and this is like secret under the hood stuff that we're about to release, is what we're calling the conversational funnel. And the conversational funnel takes the static funnel and turns it on its head and says, hey, we're not going to squeeze you. We're going to be standing here right here next to you as a trusted friend that you can have a conversation with. And that is going to empower your prospect to make their own buying decision at their own pace, on their own time. And a lot of times when we feel empowered to make the decisions we need to make, we go ahead and make them. We reduce and almost eliminate that sales resistance by just being that trusted friend that you can have a conversation with. AI chat is part of that. But the whole thing is like this big, larger idea, right? And so we're actually going to be hosting a workshop on that pretty soon, and we'll be putting out some information on it. But that's really where AI is going. AI is going towards replacing what we're calling now the static funnel with this new idea that is the conversational funnel, which makes it much easier for people to buy. And I'm not going to take credit for that. My partner, Anna, was the person who started developing all of these.
She's not a bot?
She is Annabot Prime on social media, by the way. But yeah, she's a real person.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she's been building all of this AI chat for us and had this big inspiration of like, oh, I started writing and I couldn't stop writing, And she said, look at this. It's the conversational funnel. And I'm like, that's genius.
It's freaking genius. Like I can't even talk right now because my brain is like going, like thinking of all of these things, because you're 100% right. Like you look at a sales funnel. This is what pisses me off. You read this entire sales funnel, you get to the bottom and you still don't even know what you're buying, how much it costs, nothing. Click the button, you go to the next page, right? You still don't know. Grant Cardone does it. You still don't even know how much it's going to cost you to sign up for this thing until you input all of your information, name, address, email, then get to the next page to put in your credit card and you see the price. And I'm like, what is the point? Or there's other funnels where it will give you all of this information, no price. You just have to sign up because you want more info on it. And you're like, what? So if somebody is on, let's just say a funnel landing page, and you have some sort of bot that is salesy, asking them sales questions, right? And like taking them down the sales funnel verbally, conversationally, that is going to 100% lead to a lot more people not just landing on the page and looking at it and then never going back to it. And just like you said in the beginning, how many times do you go to a website, you forget what website you were on, and you're like, crap, what was that website? Well, with this, it's going to keep them on that page longer.
That's the idea. And, people read the statistics on how much content gets read. About 23% of the words on your page are going to get read. People spend less than 6 seconds, about 5.5 seconds, reading the content on your website. Now think about even the speediest reader, that's nowhere near a long form sales letter. People are giving up on that long before you've made your point.
Right.
And so what we need to do with the conversational funnel is we need to get their attention. We got to have a sales page. It's got to be structured in a certain way, but we want to integrate the conversational part of this as part of the process. So there are some people that are like, just give me the facts. Great. I build a sales page. I have to take care of the bleeding heart, emotional guys. I got to take care of the, just the facts, logical guys. And then like everything in between. There's all these different buyer personas. And when I'm building a sales page, I got to speak to all of them. But in a conversational funnel, on the other hand, I can save a lot of that space by saying, here's the basics. Here's the idea. Here's the compelling hook. What kinds of questions do you have? So that we can figure out together if this is for you or not. And then when they say, well, I don't know if I'm ready yet. Cool. What resources do you need to be able to decide if you're ready or not? If I was on an actual sales call with somebody and they were halfway through my script and they're like, I'm not real sure about this, I'm going to stop. Like your sales page will not stop scrolling because somebody has doubt. It's
Right.
just, you're just going to keep going, right? So that's where you incorporate the chat to say, well, what are you feeling right now? Well, I have a question about the price. Sure thing. Here's our prices. And in 2024 and beyond, people don't want your tricks. They want to feel like they're trusted, or they can trust you. They want to feel like they're getting the information that they need, because there's a lot of crap out there. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of people trying to take your money and not give you value in return. And if you just take that little bit of effort to show them, hey, I care about this journey we're taking together, that is going to increase your conversion significantly.
Absolutely. I love that. That's awesome. That is genius. Tell Anna. Anna said that is amazing. But no, that's awesome. Like that's really going to definitely be a game changer, I think for your business and anybody else that's doing that. I haven't even heard of that, but that's awesome. What else do you have for us?
I mean, I got all kinds of things, but so we do have a podcast that we release called Basic Business AI, and it is designed specifically for business owners who are curious about using AI, but not trying to become tech geniuses or get an advanced degree in engineering or anything. They just want to leverage it and get the benefits in their business and continue being good at whatever it is they're good at. So we release that almost daily at this point, and we're always looking for great guests to bring on. You do not need to be an expert in AI. If you're using it even casually, and even if you're not using it that great, come on and talk about your experience, because there's somebody else who does what you do who just needs that little bit of encouragement from, oh, okay, that's how you use ChatGPT? That's neat. I'm a landscaping person too. Like I can probably use that. That's the idea. We want to represent as many different industries as possible. And we do bring on a couple of AI experts, but this is a podcast for the rest of us.
That's awesome. What's it called again?
Basic Business AI.
Basic Business AI. So I definitely encourage everybody to listen to that. Sign up so that they can get notifications whenever a new podcast comes out. And I really appreciate you being on, because, AI is obviously, some people are just like AI, they're all scared of it. And then other people are so into it. And then there's a lot of people in the middle that are like, I use ChatGPT here and there and da-da-da, which is most people. But I think what you said in the beginning, obviously, has a lot to do with AI, because AI will help you 4 times your sales, but it's a huge business tip to get back to people immediately. And then, using AI to leverage, basically everything, bro, your sales, your lead gen, your lead follow-up, all of that stuff. It's all awesome. So Anabots.ai is your business where they can find you. They can listen to your podcast. I'm going to have all of your information on the back end in my membership area. So if anybody wants to reach out to you directly, they can. But I appreciate you being on. Thank you so much for everything. It was definitely great, very valuable. We all learned a lot. So thank you.
Thanks, Danielle.